Jesus practiced relational ministry, and he understood the value of sitting at the table and sharing a meal together. What do you do when you sit at the table with someone? You eat and you talk and you share your story and you share stories and you share life. There's three really important stories that need to happen in relationship. You need to hear their story. They need to hear your story. And at some point, you need to share the story of Jesus Christ. And that's a beautiful way to do ministry, to be in a relationship, to journey, to pursue life, to go through the ups and downs, to share the joys and the sorrows, to share testimonies, to share struggles, and to be there for one another. And I truly believe that that begins when we as pastors create opportunities for relationship and create opportunities to just sit at the table and to share stories. So I'm going to encourage you with eyes wide open to look for those opportunities, to create those opportunities, take advantage of those opportunities, and to come up with even excuses for people to get together. So I want to share two things that happened in the life of our church that we just fully took advantage of, and they paid off huge dividends. We have about 12 acres of church property, and the back half is 6 acres of just grass. And there was this one big tree out in the back. I believe it's a beech tree. And a big limb fell off. And so I just kind of waited for that to dry out a little bit. And I went and cut it up and cut it into firewood. And then there was a family. They have 5 children, and they burn wood in the winter. And so I went and got their 2 teenage boys, and we loaded up the wood, and I took it back to their house. And it gave me opportunity for a relationship with these two boys, and then to spend some time with the dad as we got to the house and unloaded. But then I had all these treetops, all these sticks and twigs, and it was a big pile. And so because I had that wood laying there, I created an opportunity for a fall campfire. And I told our church people, we got this treetop that needs to be burned. We're going to host a campfire. All you got to do is show up. And we're going to provide the hot dogs and the s'mores. And we're going to have live worship with the guitar. And we're going to have a time of prayer. And we're just going to hang out at the fire and just fellowship and be in relationship as a church family. And I even had to go and eliminate excuses and reasons why they wouldn't attend. So here, a lot of my old people don't like to drive after dark. The hills and hollers sometimes for them is a little tricky after dark. So I set the campfire from 5 to 7. It didn't get dark until 7:30 or 8. I told them, you can drive across the property. You don't have to walk across the property. I said, bring a bag chair. If you don't have a bag chair, park your car close enough to the fire. I'll hand you a hot dog stick, and you don't have to get out of your car. Like, I eliminated all the excuses. And we had like 25 plus people show up of different ages and generations. And they had a blast. We cooked hot dogs and we had s'mores. And Aaron had his guitar and we had worship and we sang some heritage hymns. And then we ended the night with this beautiful time of prayer. One of the victories that came out of that was a woman in our church whose husband had died about a year earlier. And so she's a widow woman. She came. And she hadn't been attending a lot of church functions, mostly due to her husband's health. And she had a blast. Well, now you fast forward, and she's highly involved in our women's ministry. She's a member of our board of trustees, and she's getting very much involved in the life of the church. Just because a tree fell, we took advantage, we hosted a fire, we invited her, she came, and the dividends are there. This past Sunday, I turned 50. My birthday was on Sunday. And so that created us an opportunity. And so Rhonda hosted a Mexican buffet after church. And we kind of calculated how many people we thought would attend. And we had plenty of food and we had help in the kitchen. And so after I preached, and we'd been promoting it for weeks. After I preached, we just sent the people into the gym and they had this big spread of food. And what we did was we set our tables where they would seat 6 people. And when the crowd came in, we kind of looked and thought, man, this is going to be pretty tight. Instead of scrambling to set up more tables, we just kind of forced them to sit in the available seats, which meant people were sitting at the table with people they normally didn't sit with, maybe with new people, maybe with people they never talked to, and it started to build new relationships. And the people had a blast and they stayed, for a long time and just sat and talked and enjoyed the food. And these are just two ways that we have taken advantage so that people can spend time together. When I first came here, that really wasn't happening. The socialization and the relationships just weren't happening. And so now 4 years later, after all the things that we've done to provide opportunity to sit at the table, to provide for people to go places and road trips in the van and to do all these things, uh, we're seeing new friendships formed. We're seeing old ones strengthened and deepened. We're hearing stories being told. We're seeing people start to get more involved in the life of the church. So that campfire, we had like 25 people. Normally, when we do a luncheon or a dinner, we hit about 40 to 50 people. My Mexican buffet, we had 90 people show up and stick around and just share the table. So I want to encourage you, keep your eyes wide open, look for those opportunities for relational ministry, create opportunities, come up with crazy excuses to do wild stuff to get people to come and just sit and journey and do life together. Hey, I love you, and I'll see you next time.